everyone here present to this event. I know we were here a few months ago for the first in the series of Long Time with a Mentor. And at that point in time, can anyone remind me who the facilitator there? Who? Oh, they are all new staff. Okay. So we had our former Vice Chancellor there, in the person of Professor Abel Ifowu Olayinka. But today, we're having an August visitor in the month of April. And I'm sure that our Dean will unveil this August visitor in the month of April to you. On behalf of the faculty, once again, I want to call on our Dean, Professor Kennedy Kester, for his opening remarks. Please.
I don't think there's much to say than just to say you're welcome. Honestly, if you look at what we're going to have today, some of us may not actually know what it was. To you, it's just a normal thing we've been hearing. It is not. This is the second time we're having this. And I'll tell you, the first time we had it, it was with Professor Ifowu Olayinka. And some of us who are here would know what it means. And that very day, if you remember, I said, I'll try my best to make sure that the next person we're bringing will be Professor Nwobodo, who will be talking to us about craftsmanship. You'll be wondering why I was so particular about craftsmanship. I find it very difficult not to, until a particular time. During our own training, we're not given it to craftsmanship. The only person who could boastfully say had so much grant on the Faculty of Education would be Professor Charles Wakwe, and then maybe a very few other, like Professor Femi Adebeso. So do you have one? Yeah. Okay, Professor Ayuamed, and then a couple of. If there's anything in my academic career that is actually painful, is the issue of this craftsmanship. This is what they live on, and this is what they eat in College of Medicine. And the moment I put up the flyer on UI platforms, I know how many deans of faculties actually called me and said, "Educated Dean, please, are we allowed to come?" And I said, "Yes, you are allowed. But the space is minimal because this place cannot occupy all of it. We're expecting about 150, 200 people. And if you allow people from College of Medicine, because they will have been here, all of them will have been here. So it shows you that this is what some people actually want. This is what we have on the platter we're good. To get people pay, sir. Okay, sir. To get the Catalan here. Okay, permit me to use that word. It's all right. Because this is the main kata in UI. Is the head. Is a former provost, College of Medicine, University of Ibadan. Former president, College of Surgeons, West African College of Surgeons. Am I right? And then former head, management team of CATA. CATA is Consortium of African Training and Research. No, Consortium of Advanced Training in Africa. Yeah, in Africa. So when you're talking about training and research in Africa, this is the main person. This is the focal person. So to bring him here means quite a lot of things. So we're not taking it for granted. second in the series. By the time we're ending this program, we will see who will be speaking with us for the third time. Because already I have somebody else lined up. And now people are queuing, wanting to come. Because this is one of the promises I made when I was coming in as the dean. And I think God Almighty is really assisting us. Sir, it is my pleasure and the pleasure of everybody here, students, staff, and early and mid-career academic staff in the faculty to have you in our midst. We appreciate you. God bless you, sir.
Another round of applause for our team. Make it louder, please. Thank you very much. At this juncture, I want to invite the anchor person of this program. I want to invite our new Professor Clement Akombe, who will be anchoring this program to take on from there. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, the faculty officer. Our dean, the only educated dean, you are welcome. My professors in the faculty, we welcome you. The heads of departments, the management of the faculty, the sub-deans, the faculty officer, the secretary, to the dean of the Faculty of Education, my very dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to this second in the series of Lunch with a Mentor, which is an initiative of the current dean of the faculty, Professor K.O. Kester, in his bid to expose upcoming career lecturers and academics, to the intricacies of academics and how to, maneuver one's ways up there, as one grows through the ladder. This is second in the series, like I've said. The first one in December, precisely December 5th, 2025, it featured Professor Ebeni Dowu Olanyinka, and we all really benefited through his sharing. And today, we are so lucky to have a man of high intellect, a man of global connection and reputation, a first-class medical doctor, a worldwide acclaimed gynecologist, and an academic excellence. We have him as our guest today. So it is my pleasure to invite to the high seat here, Professor Akeyinka O. Omigodun. Please let me come together as speakers. Professor Akeyinka Omigodun, FAS, FNA, M.Ed, FA, Med, MBBS, MD, FWACS, FMCOG, FRCOG, and many more. Please you can have your seat, sir. Thank you very much. You are welcome. We are delighted to have you. This engagement is usually an informal one, so there aren't really protocols. So we will face the business of the day. I have the citation, the profile of our prof with me here. But before I do that, let me veer into history. I have been a wonderful and a privileged beneficiary of Professor Omigodo's experience as a doctor and as a gynecologist. In the year 2001, my wife was admitted to UCH. He is my wife's personal physician, the doctor attending to her, just by luck, by privilege, not by any special arrangement. And she had some challenges in the course of carrying out pregnancy, so she was in the hospital here at UCH. And at a point in time, they said, well, they will have to operate her. And I was asked to go to Kumiara to buy an injection. This is an injection to induce her. Pitocin, I may not be too sure. So I went. She had been wheeled to the theater. So I came back. Then I went to the theater. I didn't see her. I was worried. Within how many minutes? As I was wondering, then I was told that she should go back. Go back to the ward that she has been taken back to the ward. My dear, what happened? Say, one doctor just came. They have put the gown, the theater gown on her. Now one doctor just came and just by intuition, he was walking by and just checked the case notes and said, Madam, what are you doing here? He said, I was supposed to come here. Really? You are whose patient? Oh, Professor Omigodo, is he around? I said, no. But I was just asked to come here. He said, get up, go back to the ward. Go back to the ward. Well, according to that doctor, I don't have any medical experience, that if she was induced, she will not be able to make it because the second born was through CS. So Prof was now contacted and he have to come down at a later date and carry out the CS patient by himself. That boy, my last born, is now running his master in the department now. He did not end there. Prof, sir, I would have lost my wife in the year 2016. She was she has cysts and multiple, the other one, fibro, cysts and fibro. Prof was not around. He had to break his journey from wherever to come and personally operated her and went away again. I think, in fact, if I meet Prof on the road, he does not know me. My family does not have any special relationship with him. And the operation was successful. My wife is still with me. Prof, more grace. As the Lord lives, you will continue to shine. No error will befall you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the profile of a Professor Akenyinka O. Omigodo, FAS, FNA Med, FA Med, MBBS, MD, FWACS, FMCOG, FRCOG. Akenyinka O. Omigodo, clinician and scientist, is a professor of obstetrics and gynecology at the University of Medicine, at the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan. Professor of Reproductive Health Sciences at the Pan-African University Life and Health Sciences, Health Sciences Institute, Policy, and consultant gynecological oncologist at the University College Hospital, Ibadan, Nigeria. He is a fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Science, FAS, fellow of the Nigerian Academy of Medicine, FNA Med, fellow of the Academy of Medical Sciences of Nigeria, FA Med, and fellow at UDOM of the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists of the United Kingdom, FRCOG. Please let's give that applause heartily. Professor Omigodo has practiced as a gynecological oncologist for nearly 40 years. After completing residency training at the University College Hospital Ibadan in 1887, in 1987, he had a subspecialty training in gynecological oncology at the University Hospital of South Manchester, Withington, and the Christie Hospital, Manchester, United Kingdom. He is a former provost of the College of Medicine, University of Ibadan, pioneer chairman of the Board of Management of the Consortium for Advanced Research Training in Africa, Qatar, founded to strengthen research capacity in Africa's higher educational institutions, and past president of the West African College of Surgeons, WACS, the largest surgical college in Africa. He is a former chairman of the Regional Council for Health Professionals Education, RCHPE, in the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS region. He is a member of the Scientific Committee of the Global Science Program on Urban Health and Well-being of the International Science Council, ISC, and of the Urban Health Working Group of the Inter-Academic Partnership, IAP, the coordinating agency of science academies from all over the world. He has researched into prevention of cervical cancer, mechanisms of trophoblastic invasion of the uterus, surgical safety of patients undergoing major surgery in Africa, and access to health care for inhabitants of urban slums in Africa and South Asia. Shall I put hands together, please? Professor Omidojon has been the principal investigator in at least 15 grants made to the University of Ibadan since 1988, including grants from the Rockefeller Foundation, International Women's Health Coalition of New York, the Carnegie Corporation of New York, the Ford Foundation, John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, the Wellcome Trust UK, United Kingdom, Research and Innovation, UKRI, the National Institute for Health and Care Research, NIHR of the United Kingdom, and the Gates Foundation, USA. He has also been a co-investigator in several other grants made to the University of Ibadan and other institutions by external funding agencies. He currently co-leads a major multi-site research project into reducing delays in the diagnosis of cancers in sub-Saharan Africa, and another project assessing the access to care and the quality of care received by women in Nigeria and Kenya. Professor Akenyinka Omidojon has trained and mentored many residents specializing in gynecological oncology. He has also mentored many early career researchers in other disciplines. He has supervised 14 dissertations for candidates taking the fellowship examination of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. He has also supervised 7 PhD students to the completion of their doctoral degrees, and is currently supervising 5 other doctoral students. My dear professors, senior colleagues, and colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Professor Akenyinka Omidojon. This is quite an intimidating credential. Thank you, Prof. You are welcome. Prof has agreed to take us through orientation in grant seeking. It was when he came here that the Dean and I discussed with him, and readily, he's ready for us. So I congratulate those of us who are here this afternoon. Prof, over to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Akonde, for that wonderful introduction. You met me, but I was not really the main actor.
You are not visible.
I was not visible. I wasn't the major participant. So the dean, I acknowledge you, sir. And let me just abide by the protocol that Professor Akebe had established. But I must extend special courtesies to somebody who has known me from primary school. Because we were in primary school together. Wow. And I was actually chairman at the wedding of his daughter. So I saw him, I don't know whether
He's still there.
Professor Nella. Okay. So, and I extend greetings to everyone who has found time to be here this afternoon. I just wanted to come here to sit and let's have a chat. But when I got here, I was instructed that I should talk a bit about grant writing and grantsmanship. And that's something I'm always ready to do. Because one of the areas where the University of Ibadan will be doing a lot more. And let me start by saying that University of Ibadan is better than all the other universities in Nigeria. In fact, at some point, say about 10 years ago, more than half of the external grants in this country were domiciled in the University of Ibadan. But now the University of Lagos has almost caught up with us. And we need to really buck up so that they don't overtake us. Because they are very intentional about seeking grants. We need to do the same. I've been preaching that gospel in the College of Medicine for more than 20 years. And I can say confidently that right now we have more than 50 individual grants. I mean, different persons holding grants in the College of Medicine. More than 50 who are principal investigators. There are others who are co-investigators. And there is no reason why that should not be the case in the other faculties. And I will tell you that we started Consortium for Advanced Research Training in Africa, let me say 18 years ago, 2008, but we were not formally incorporated until 2010, so 16 years ago. And we've been conducting research training across the partner universities, research institutes, and many of our trainees. You know, when people hear that we are doing population and public health, they think it's for doctors and nurses. For many of the trainees that have gone through the CATA program, I would say probably a minority are doctors. I don't think up to 25% of the CATA doctoral trainees, I don't know the 25% are medical doctors. We have some vets, surgeons, we have nurses, physiotherapists, but that's about the gamut of health. We have engineers. We had at least one theater arts graduate. We had a journalist. And those are the ones I can remember off the cuff now that were able to get that fellowship and complete their doctoral training with it. And each fellowship is worth approximately $100,000. And that's just to complete the doctoral degree. After they complete their PhDs, those who complete on time, that's within 51 months of getting the fellowship. If you complete your PhD in those 51 months, then you are eligible for further assistance because we are doing what we call securing the future. So we give either a re-entry grant of $50,000 or we sponsor their postdoctoral fellowship, usually Switzerland. Those are some of the places where people who have gone for doctoral fellowship have been able to make use of them. So we have just enrolled the latest cohort of Carter Fellows. As usual, University of Ibadan has the maximum number of slots. We took 4 slots. And in actual fact, it has been purely of merit. We would have taken 6. But no institution could take more than 4. So we took our 4. So 2 of our candidates who didn't make it, if they had come from somewhere else, they would have made it. And the 4 candidates we have this year who won the fellowship, I think 2 are from VET. No, 1 is from VET, 1 is from Agric, 1 is from the social sciences, sociology, and then 1 doctor from the Institute of Cardiovascular Medicine. So those are the 4 awardees this year. If we have money, because we depend on external funding to award the fellowship. If we have money, we'll be awarding more next year, which means actually this year, because those who are awarded this year, towards the end of this year, will start the fellowship in March next year, and then they'll have 51 months to complete their PhD and all the various programs we arrange for them. So I will be very happy if people from the Faculty of Education who are doing things that are related to population and public health and apply. Those who are doing physical and health education, for instance, I don't see why you can't have that. If you are doing social work, very relevant. In fact, we've had 2 social workers that have got the Carter Fellowship. If you are doing counseling, yes, excellent. So, as long as you can relate your work to the health and well-being of the population, it is relevant. So I hope some of you, those who have not yet done their PhDs, will be able to, once the call for applications come out, please, I want to encourage those assistant lecturers who are just starting their PhDs, please feel free to apply. You never know. We're looking for people from everywhere, and certainly we are trying to build a critical mass of researchers here who are so well trained and who network with other researchers both within our university and across the continent with researchers in other institutions. That's what we have achieved with Carter, not teaching. We've trained the number of Carter Fellows recruited from UI so far. I think we have recruited 42. And 31 have graduated, completed their PhDs. We have 11 who are yet to complete, and no, not 11, 10. Well, 1 or 2 of those, I don't know whether they will ever complete because they've been there for so long. But again, I never say never. We've had 12 cohorts. There was somebody from cohort 2. Cohort 2 started in 2012. And I had given up on him. But lo and behold, 2024, 12 years later, he completed his PhD. And he's doing very, very well. I mean, he will soon be promoted professor. He's doing very well. He's actually won a couple of patents. So, we don't give up on anybody. Unfortunately, one of our Carter graduates died. She fell ill and died. So that's one that is no longer with us. We've had a few who have completed the doctoral training and have eloped. Some eloped openly. Some, they are still on our staff. But I know they are not coming back. Because, officially, at least 2 of them are still officially on leave. Because one is holding an international appointment with the UN agency. But I know deep inside me that she's not going to come back. And then the other one just left. Again, he's on leave of absence. Again, I know he's not coming back. But I'm proud to say that we have at least 25 that are still working in the system. And for that, I'm really very happy. And those 25, five of them are full professors. One is a member of council. And they continue to do good work. They are networking with colleagues in other parts of Africa. Together, the fellows from Ibadan, well, the 42 of them that have been recruited, since they joined the fellowship, they published a total of over 1,500 papers in index journals. And they've attracted an additional almost $1.5 million in their own grants that they have won. Because grantsmanship is one of the key elements of our training for our fellows and for our graduates. When they graduate, we take them through grant writing and grantsmanship again. I was fortunate right at the beginning of my academic career, I think within a few months of being employed as a lecturer in the university. One, I was sent to a training program on academic skills. It took place right here at the conference center. We had resource persons from the US, from Nigeria, from, I think one person came from the UK, one person came from South Africa then. Even though South Africa was under apartheid at that time. And so we were trained on academic skills, teaching, research, grant writing. And shortly after that, my head of department then, Professor Dakoladipo, nominated me for a training workshop in Nairobi, which was organized by the Rockefeller Foundation. The workshop was about reproductive biology. I was in Nairobi for 4 weeks. My wife was pregnant with our son. And at that time, there was no phone, no internet, nothing. So I didn't even know what was happening to her. So when I came back, I said, there's no way anybody is going to convince me to travel for anything again until she delivered. So, but that was the opportunities we had. And by the time we finished the training in Nairobi, I wrote a grant with the proposal submitted to the Rockefeller Foundation. And I got a grant of $18,000. That was my first external grant in 1988. And since then, so many others. I've been the principal investigator in at least 15, and then there are others where I'm just a co-investigator. But the grants that I and the people I've worked with have attracted to the University of Ibadan aggregate more than $20 million over the last 40 years. So, it has kept me busy. And it has taken me to virtually every continent. Because those resources, apart from allowing you to do your research, also allow you to go to fora where you can communicate the output of your research. So if as an academic, you are doing research with your salary, you are not helping yourself. Because there is a lot of resources that you can tap into. The dean was saying that the people in the College of Medicine, The answer is that it is what only people in the college for medicine. Every academic can win research grants. You only need to know where to look. So those who are already very elderly and so on, it's not too late. Those who are just starting out, you'll be, it's like shooting yourself in the foot if you fail to apply for research grants. First of all, there are TED Fund research grants. Money from the educational, tertiary education trust fund. ASU fought for that TED fund to be established. When it was first established, they were not only attending to university, they were, anything that has politics in it. And by that time, we were back in civilian law. TED fund was, ETF was established I think 2001. That was one of the products of the 2001 strike of ASU. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the best thing ASU has done for the university system. I don't know what their motives were, because many times I disagree with the motives of the people who run ASU. We are not supposed to be socialists. Don't bring all kinds of foreign ideology to what we do. We are supposed to be institution builders, building our universities. And that singular action of ETF has done more to build our universities than any other thing ASU has done. The other thing I wish they would have focused on, instead of just fighting for funding for universities, is to fight for the emoluments of ASU members. I think if ASU can continue to police that fund to make sure that it is not diverted to do other things, because when it started, ASU fought for it for the university system. They started using it to build classrooms in primary schools. So ASU had to fight again, and they had to rewrite the law to make sure that the funding is reserved for the tertiary education sector. So unfortunately, that meant we have to share it with polytechnics and colleges of education. But that's still okay. But to be using that fund to go and be building primary school block, which is the function of the local government, that was a total misdirection. So at least now it is restricted for tertiary education. And they have reserved part of the money to support researchers. Again, the money was so much, somebody got there and started using it to send some people abroad to go and do PhD in some third-rate universities in the US, which again was an unfortunate misapplication. And many of those who went did not come back. That money could have been better applied to set up first-class PhD programs. You can pick one university by geopolitical zone, later on expand it to two, but those people should have been trained in Nigeria. We need to strengthen our institutions, but those of us in the institutions, we also need to empower ourselves. So part of that money is being spent to award research grants. Some are given to the institution, and the institution will then award it on a competitive basis to researchers within the institution. Some are awarded directly from the TED Fund headquarters in Abuja. You are entitled to apply for both. You can apply for both the internal one that is administered from here in Ibadan, and you can apply for the central one that is administered from Abuja. Unfortunately, the maximum amount that's given by the one in Abuja is 50 million naira. I've applied once, but I won't even waste my time applying again. Because when you convert 50 million naira to amount of effort I will put into that, I mean, 50 million naira is barely $30,000. The amount of effort I will put to that, if I put it to an external agency that will give me $300,000 or $500,000, I think I'm even more likely to succeed. So, but if you don't have access to those external ones, you can start with the TED phone. And the one within UI, I think last year, the amount given was up to 4 million. This actually is meant for early career researchers. But we also want the early career researchers to be linked up with senior investigators who can support and assist and mentor them. Thank you very much for supplying that time. So, please, there is nobody who should be in this university who is not writing grant proposals. It just should not happen. I mean, I became professor in 1997, so 29 years. But I'm still writing grants. I'm still writing proposals. My latest grant we got in October from Gates Foundation. We are just beginning the work. So I may be on the verge of retirement, but I'm still writing grants. And when I leave the system, other people will continue to operate those grants. When I wrote a grant for the MacArthur Award. That was 2010. 3 grants were awarded to UI that year. One to me, one to my wife, and one to Professor YM in economics. Professor YM retired just about a year and a half later. But somebody else, Professor Ben Bingi, was continuing to operate that grant. And they established what has become the Department of Petroleum, Energy and Law from the money that came from that grant. My own grant went to Qatar. And my wife's grant went to set up the Center for Child and Adolescent Mental Health in the College of Medicine. So, the opportunities are there, and you continue. When you retire, others will carry the flag and continue the work. Okay? And there is nowhere they will talk of petroleum, energy, and law anywhere in this country that they will not mention Professor YM. Even though he left almost 50 years ago. But writing that grant, bringing that money, and set up something that is there as a memorial. Anybody taking that program will know that it was started with a grant that was written by Professor White. So don't think that, oh, I'm about to retire, so I don't need to do anything. No. Please plant trees that will provide shade for the generations that are coming after you. So I'll just run through the slides. Well, that's what I've been doing. So writing successful grant proposals requires knowledge of how to do so. I'm not here to teach the techniques of writing grants, but there are a lot of courses that are available, and we mount courses from time to time. Qatar, for instance, in collaboration with the university, we mount grants writing workshops from time to time. And so when such opportunities come up, we usually invite the deans to nominate. Many times, some deans will nominate. The memo will just sit on their table. And before I came here, right today, tomorrow, and even Wednesday, Thursday, we are running supervisors workshop in collaboration with the postgraduate college. That's why I rushed from to come here. I've just taken a session there, training people on doctoral supervision. There are some faculties that did not send any on me. Fortunately, we also threw the invitation open to people to apply on their own. And many of the participants there are those who applied on their own because their faculty did not send any nomination, so it left spaces open. So please, when you see such opportunities, grab them. Because there is nobody that has this thing automatically in them. We all learned it. Somebody taught us. They showed us the way. And then we began to follow. And we were able to also do our own. So when you find somebody teaching, please go and learn. And then you build on that and you can do your own. So you need to be able to write your proposal to win the grant. And then after winning, you also must continue the relationship with the granting agencies. All of them are important. Now, these are different kinds of things that the grants can form. Of course, a lot of grant funding is for research, but you can also have grant funding to procure equipment. One of the earliest grants I got, my first grant was the Rockefeller grant. 2 years later, I got a grant from the International Women's Health Coalition of New York. And they gave me a grant to procure the first colposcope for the University College Hospital. And they also provided money to send me for training in the United Kingdom. So the grant procured an equipment and also sponsored my training in the United Kingdom so that I will be able to operate that equipment expertly. So you can get research for that. Of course, I've received several grants to organize training programs. And joining with others, Qatar has raised more than $40 million in the last 18 years. So if you are going to be given $100,000 grants to the doctoral students, and we've had more than, I think at the last count, 260 something of them. That's already 26 point something million, just on doctoral grants alone. That has gone to support those students. That's apart from the re-entry and post-doc grants that were given. You can also get grants for advocacy as well as for community improvement. So there is no limit. All you need to do is find out who is giving money and for what. And you can dive in and see whether what you have, what you are bringing to the table will be acceptable. My wife was provost of the College of Medicine. And we've been trying to raise funds to build hostels for students for a long time, even from before I became provost. And I became provost 20 years ago. And the thing was not moving. But then she went and got approval from the UCH Board of Management to allocate land. So they allocated the land. She went to meet the Alumni Association. We have our own Alumni Association in the College of Medicine, which is a subgroup of the UI alumni. I hope education has its own. If you don't, please go and start. Because let me tell you, UI Alumni Association is too big. It's difficult to mobilize people. It's difficult to mobilize people. My colleague running Qatar in UI, Professor Fayong, the other focal person, she was head of sociology. The block, the building that money built has already been opened. But that $1 million, when they told another donor that, because she approached so many donors, that this person gave $1 million. Say, okay, what do you want me to give? she brought out the proposal that showed the cost of each block. So, General T.Y. Danjuma, who she went to meet, incidentally worked under her father. So as soon as she introduced herself that she was such and such person's daughter, in fact, he was calling her that name until she left their house on that day. So he said, okay, I will take this block. How much is it? It was $1.34 something million. And he wrote a check for that exact sum. Wow. That block is almost completed. Then another person they approached, when they had this person had given 1 million, that one had given 1.3. Say, okay, which one is available? They put another one, another block is $1.42 million. You wrote the check down. Meanwhile, alumni, $10,000, $5,000. 4 blocks are completed now. One of them is going to be commissioned very soon. But that's the power of 1, reaching out to alumni. 2, fundraising. Go and look for where the funds are. Because in less than 2 years, she had raised almost $5 million. And that's not just for the hostels. She also raised money for scholarships for students. And many of those students went on to get distinction. They couldn't focus before. But because they now got support, mainly from alumni. So please set up your education alumni.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Noted, sir.
So that they can come and help. When I was in 100 level, I received a lot of lectures from the educational lecturers. I don't know what the place looks like. But look, the alumni in UCH, the Colin-Brixey Lecture Theatre. Colin-Brixey Lecture Theatre is named after one of my teachers. Well, he didn't actually teach me directly. He died just as I was going to begin training. Professor Paul Hendrickson. The place had deteriorated. Go there now. The alumni, fully refurbished. They've installed video, everything. So somebody can be in the United States lecturing there, and it will be as if the person is in the room. All the money came from alumni. They donated it. And well, the college also added some money to complete it, but most of it came from a group of alumni. So it's a major source. And a lot of people have been, even secondary schools. My secondary school class, we have done so many projects. In my school, I attended Wheeler College at Old Ife Road there. We have done, and many other groups have done projects for the students there. There is one of our old students, every year, he comes once a year to feed all the students in the school. And then he awards scholarships. And those who cannot afford the money to pay for WAEC, he pays for them. So please tap on alumni, but let me go back, let me rush through.
Thank you, sir.
So your grant proposal can be based on the project. It can be for project planning or development. It can be to train researchers. It can be for researcher development, researcher support, or institutional support. All of these things will attract grants. That's apart from you. Look, the headquarters of CATA is at the African Population and Health Research Center in Nairobi. That organization was started by an alumnus of this university. That's why when CATA was to start, he came back. He came back. He came to look for me. We were together at the University of Pennsylvania in the United States. He came to look for his teacher, Professor Osibu Abanihe, who recommended him to go to the University of Pennsylvania. Because that's where Professor Osibu Abanihe also completed his own PhD. So he recommended this young man to go to Penn. So when he was about to start Kata, he just came to call the 12. That's how Kata started. That's the importance of networks. It's the importance of networks. You reach out to the people you know. I was in the University of Ghana last week. And they run a program similar in some respects to Kata, but it's localized within their university. So when we were telling them what you had achieved in Kata, they were now asking me that why were they not included? But the reality was that when we had the very first meeting in Dar es Salaam in 2008, I can never forget, because we had the meeting in Dar es Salaam because there was election palava in Kenya. We were supposed to have the meeting in Nairobi. So we had to move the meeting to Dar es Salaam. Right there in the room, there was a representative from the University of Ghana, Francis Dodo. I remember him very well. He was a sprinter. And he was, at that time, was the director of the Institute for Population Studies. But he had run for Ghana. He had run 100 meters for Ghana in the past. So his name was very well known. There was somebody from the University of Kinshasa. We were all in the room there. But when we were to sign to submit the proposal, their vice chancellor did not sign. That was how Ghana was dropped. And that was how Kinshasa was dropped. And I will tell you, there was one university that was not part of us, Obafemi Awolowo University. We got to Bellagio in Italy for a meeting when we were still putting the consortium together. Carnegie Corporation came into the room and said, okay, we will give you money, but on condition that you include Obafemi Awolowo University. That's how OAU is part of Qatar today. And Carnegie gave us $4 million when we agreed to include the Obafemi Awolowo University. So networking, very, very important, but institutional support is indispensable. If you don't have the support of your institution, you are sunk. Actually, all that we have been able to achieve in Qatar is because we've had sustained support from the administration of the University of Ibadan. Professor Bamero, super support. Professor Adewale, full support. Professor Olainka, he participated in so many kind of activities. Professor Adebowale is continuing to support what we do. And that's why today you have the largest number of doctoral fellowship awards from Qatar. I think the closest institution for us is the University of Malawi, which has maybe five or six fellowships, fewer than we have had. And amongst the postdoctoral and the entry grants, by far, in fact, I would say about 1/3 have come to UI. And that's because of institutional support. So please, Mr. Dean, when your people are writing, please offer them strong support. Advocate for them with the central administration so that if there are any documents to sign, they will be signed on time. Because the grants are not being made to you as an individual. And if you notice, when they were talking about the grants, I said grants made to the University of Ibadan. I may be the principal investigator, but the money is not given to me. Professor Ewayemi got his $1 million grant. He left the university 18 months after that. The money did not leave the university. He continued to work for the university. So the money is not your personal money. The money is for the institution, is to build the institution. But of course, so there are always a demonu that go with all of them. I mean, a lot of the places I've been to, without those research grants, I would never have dreamt of going to this place. So please, just begin to write grants. And you know, there are so many things you need to do. You have to market yourself. So it's not just the technicalities, but you must tell a compelling story. There's the MasterCard Foundation. You know, they give a lot of scholarships every year. But they look at the stories. You find out there, you'll find somebody from a very disadvantaged background manages to get first class in the university. MasterCard scholarship. Because this is somebody who has struggled. So they can see the story. And they know that this kind of person is good investment. If you put money here, this one will yield dividend. So you need to be able to tell your story. So it's also, it's an act. And you must be able to say clearly what you intend to do, why your work is important, what have you done already. I told you the story of my wife. As soon as she got to she had received the $1 million donation, when she got to the next person and said, somebody has given us $1 million, it just made it easier. If somebody has given $1 million, okay, tell us what you want us to do. So, what have you done already? How are you going to do the work? And then, how much is it going to cost? Your budget is spot on. Very, very important element of the work. I need to rush. Now, I don't want you to be discouraged because even among the best grant writers, success rate is very good. I was at a university capacity building workshop last week, and I was relating my own story. The biggest grant I'm operating right now is a £4.2 million grant. And that grant, we started applying for it in 2014.
So, sir, how much did you say?
£4.2 million.
£4.2 million.
Yes, and about almost $1 million of that. Almost $1 million of that is coming to that. Of course, it's many institutions. So I'm joint lead of the project with my friend and colleague at the University of Birmingham, Professor Wilson, who is also a gynecologist like myself. Who has, again, I've left gynecology to public health when it comes to research. And so we've been applying for this grant since 2018. The first time they didn't shortlist us. The next time they shortlisted, they said the funds couldn't go around or something. They said it was fundable or something. The next time it was COVID. But eventually in 2024, we got the grant. And that will fund that research until 2029. And like I said, I can't remember what is coming to you, but it must be close to £1 million that's coming to Ghana. Money is going to Bayero, money is going to Nairobi, money is going to Washington. We have partners in the US, so the money is distributed. But because a lot of the research is being done here, that's why that much is coming to Ibadan. And of course, that is also boosting the economy of Ibadan because there are so many people who are employed on that grant. And it will affect the work in your faculty. If you have many grants, it will support your researchers, it will also support the work of the faculty. When my wife was provost, a lot of what was happening because of her research staff. People didn't pay from her research grants. They were the ones keeping things moving. Because they don't go on strike. And if you have a research grant, you can't go on strike because your funders are expecting reports as and when due. So in actual fact, one of the major antidotes to strike, if I were running the Federal Ministry of Education, I would make sure everybody has grants. And they must be reporting. No, but you can't afford to go on strike for 4 months, 5 months. It can't happen. I mean, there are periods when it's important to go on, but a strike that's lasting more than a week is no longer beyond the institution, is disruptive. So, you know, those grants, they have multiplier effect on everybody around. You use it to source equipment for your department or your laboratory. So there are so many things. But don't get discouraged. Into that, when I mentioned the amount now, Dean was bringing out calculator.
No, sir.
But look, we have been working on that proposal, revising for 6 years. It was the 5th attempt that we got it. So don't get discouraged because there's a small setback somewhere. You have to keep on writing and writing. Don't go and sit down in the office and start weeping. If they didn't give you that one, write another one. You will get the one that is for you. And then you can continue to do your research. You can support your postgraduate students. You give them little things to do their own research. And then everybody is busy. And the institution is getting built up. The ranking of the institution will go up. Because we are all busy doing constructive work. And those are the people that give funds. Most of the funding in the world is from governments, of course. But there are a lot of non-governmental organizations that also do it. There are many foundations. One of the largest in the world is Novo Nordisk in Denmark. They have assets in excess of $167 billion. US dollars. And then there are others. There are people in West Africa. Well, let me point attention to Bill and Melinda Gates. And I want, I just got a grant from Gates. Gates will fund anything about women and children. They want to help the vulnerable in the society. So female researchers, please, Gates is looking for you. 2 of my colleagues, one in Lagos, one in Kano, together they won more than $25 million from Gates in the last 10 years. So, in fact, the one in Lagos, we were begging her to come and do something for us in the College of Surgery. But she doesn't have time. Because the amount of grant funding she has to be on her feet. And she has to report on a regular basis. And you miss your report, that's disaster. For you personally and also for your institution. I was telling the people who are the UI capacity building workshop on last week. For 10 years, you didn't get any grant from English. Go and find out. 1990 to the year 2000. Desert. The only part of the university that was getting grant was the College of Medicine. Why? Because college is a separate legal entity from the university. College has some form of autonomy and it has its own legal name. So the college was it wasn't blacklisted in the university, but the entire university was blacklisted until the president of MacArthur Foundation, Jonathan Compton, came and said, I want to fund you. When Professor Falashe was vice chancellor. And so they set up a special committee. And that committee made sure reports went in regularly. So they gave the first grant, then they gave the second one, then the third one, I think, benefited almost 300 staff of the university who were sent on various training programs. Yeah. I think it was a $10 million grant. But some went for 6 weeks, 2 months, and so on and so forth. Send people out. But for 10 years, you actually get a grant grant that he had obtained. So that agency blacklisted that person or blacklisted UI, and then they talk to each other. So they talk with the other agencies. These people your money will just go down a rabbit hole. UI was blacklisted. So please, when you have grants, make sure you report promptly, regularly, both the narrative to describe what you have done, and also the financial to describe how the money was spent. Very, very important. And once you start performing, they will, some of the grants will find you don't even have to apply. This Gates grant that we got, it was after they gave us the money that they said we should write proposal. Yes! No, this is something that happened 5 months ago, 6 months ago. It's not ancient history. We have not even finalized the proposal as I'm talking. We are still discussing with them whether we will include this or include that. But the money is already in Boston. The money is already in UI Boston. And we are still discussing the details of the proposal. That's what it can become when you build a track record. Because all of these US agencies, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 agencies, to maintain their tax exempt status, they have to give out 7% of the endowment every year. So when December is coming like this, they are looking for where to dump money. So that's why they quickly sent us the money even before we wrote proposal. So you need to build trust, build a reputation, and get things done. And then there are sponsors in West Africa too. So don't just look abroad. And they give money for all kinds of things. They give for buildings, they give for scholarship. So you just need to know where to look. That fund, TY Dangote also has a foundation which has been funding various activities. Tony Elumelu is interested in entrepreneurship and economics and so on, and he funds that area. Bobolaji Anthony, even from the grave, he has continued to give. Before I came here, I was at a supervisor workshop. I'm going back there. Maybe that's where they're calling me from. And one of the participants, he was reminding me at the event that we sent him to Morehouse College. That's one of the universities in Georgia, in the United States, in 2010. But the money that sent him came from Mobile Bank Company. Every year, his trustees make money available to sponsor the researcher from here, another institution, other parts of the world. So he went to Morehouse on the same fellowship. Professor Faroubi later became dean of America. He also went to Germany on that fellowship. So there are so many opportunities that can be explored. When you submit, then you need to keep up communication with the agency. One thing you should do is make sure you start trying to submit well before the deadline. Don't wait until the final day. Something happened. I have 2 doctoral students on one of my projects. And there was an opportunity to apply for an add-on. This is limited competition. For those of us who have already been awarded grants by that agency, they say the doctoral students on our grant could apply for a special fund that will enable them. Sorry, I have to the person is persistent. I hope it's not my wife. They are calling me from the workshop. So I got my 2 students and they wrote they could get up to £10,000 each and to go to spend up to 2 months in the UK. And told them, because the thing was closing on, I think, day was, Monday was 14th, I think, or 13th. Monday was 13th. The thing was closing on the 14th. I'd already left the country, but I told them to make sure that they submitted on the day. Because they couldn't get the final letters until the Friday. The Friday was 10th or something. So I told them that they must submit unfailingly on the 13th. And both of them submitted on that 13th. Somebody was supposed to countersign the form at the University of Birmingham, where they are supposed to go for the program. And the person refused to sign. So I now had to call my colleague, who now went, and eventually by the following morning, which was the closing date, he had signed. Suppose they were just submitting on the closing date, they would have missed it. So at least now they are in the competition. Hopefully they will win. I don't know, but if you don't put in an application, there's nothing to win. So you need to make sure that you submit. And so remain engaged with the agency to make sure that you build relationships. It's one of the acts of winning the grant. Integrity, very important. Don't be caught out in foolish lies. Because trust, once it is destroyed, is extremely difficult to rebuild. So do things transparently and openly. Let me tell you, you are not taking any money away from this world. If you grab, most of it you are still going to lose. That's the honest truth. So, but if you do things openly and honestly, there will be no surplus for you to do other little things here and there. But when you are greedy, it will get you into trouble, avoidable trouble, and they will blacklist you. And once trust is broken, forget it. One of those in this Mark Zuckerberg's company, the guy was earning $400,000 a year, and they caught him cheating with $25 launch voucher. $25 to $400,000. See, so he lost his job over the $25,000 new voucher. So transparency, openness, very important. So I want to thank you. I've taken too much of your time already. But if the dean permits, we can take a few questions.
Thank you very much.
Please let's put us together for God. You will agree with me that that has been quite revealing, and it has been a very interesting session. We will take some questions. We'll take a few questions. So if you have any question, you can kindly raise up your hand to indicate. Prof, sir, while they are preparing their questions, you have been in the system for about 4 decades, going by your profile. I want to ask, sir, is UI faring better? Are we appreciating? Or are we depreciating?
Well, thank you very much for that question. And the answer is complicated. Yes, in some respects, we have made tremendous progress. No doubt at all about that. But then, in others, there are some places in this campus, because I actually first started working in UI in 1974 as a research assistant. So I've seen many faces of this university. There are some places where the buildings ought to have been placed better ones. There are some places where things should be done in a more modern fashion. There are some things that should no longer be happening in the institution. But on the positive side, we have so many new facilities, structures, equipment. Just last week, somebody was telling me that the university is acquiring a new electron microscope. The last time we had a functioning electron microscope in this university was in 1975. But finally, we are getting another one. And various departments are acquiring different things. We are producing experts in various fields. So the story is mixed. We've made progress in certain areas, but there are certain areas where we really need to make progress.
Thank you very much. Please let me put your hands together for Prof. Yeah. I can see Professor Teller, then my brother, then Professor Denola, then my professor, okay, my brother, then Professor. You just come, and Sister Tolu, you just come round like that. We make it as.
Sorry, I was the last to be called, but the mic came to me first. Yes, thank you very much, Prof, for this exciting.
Sorry, please let me have your name as you are starting your question, because I don't know everybody. I'm really sorry about that.
My name is Francisca Anyao.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, I want to appreciate your coming to us and the enlightenment you have given to us. Thank you very much. My worry is on the alumni issue. I don't know my team. I may be pessimistic in my opinion.
Not for me.
No, I'm just relating. Loose. I'm not asking a question. I'm relating my worry to you.
To me?
Yes. Why I'm saying this is because, like I shared with my sister here, most of our alumnus are teachers. I say most. I didn't say all. Most. In various colleges of education, in universities and or whatnot, at times when you call upon them, it is still the same federal government that we are getting, that you will get. So I don't know how we can reach out to those who will be able to, come to our aid, especially in faculty. I'm talking about faculty of education. Other departments might be different. I'm talking about where my base is, health education. So that's what I want to say on that aspect.
Noted.
Okay, let me respond right away to that. And, we should not have a poverty mentality.
That's exactly what we are saying.
And I will tell you, it is not those who have the most who give the most. In my class set, we've gathered money on a number of occasions. It is those of us on salary that do most of the contribution. Many of the members of the class who are entrepreneurs who have a lot of money don't give nothing.
It's a grace to be. It's a grace to
So now I give you the example of the alumnus in UI of the College of Medicine. He donated $1 million. Do you think it was easy? You could use the $1 million for other things. But you know what? 6 months later, because he's the chief executive of the medical school system in New York, 6 months later, somebody gave his university system $1.2 billion.
Wow.
No, giving has its own
We are
dynamic
coming back.
around it. So if somebody says, "Oh, I'm earning 100,000, so it's not even enough for me to live," that person, it will never be enough. When it reaches 1 million, it won't be enough. When it reaches 10 million, it won't be enough. It is a mindset. Because if out of that 100,000, you decide that, okay, let me manage 80,000. This 20,000 I will use to support those who are less fortunate. Because how many people have 100,000 in Nigeria? There are people who are less fortunate. those who are not content, they will never be content. But if you reach out, you'll be surprised. These people that you say, okay, they are earning salary. Out of that salary, if they want to give, they will give. And you'll be surprised what it can do. And those who are giving will also encourage some who are reticent. Because let me tell you, when that guy gave the $1 million, many of their classmates now started giving 10,000. Someone gave 50,000. They hadn't given anything before. Their appeal has been going on for 2 years. So don't start, move. Then you can see what happens after moving. But if you don't reach out, then I can guarantee you nothing will happen.
Thank you. Please, let's put our hands together for Prof. To save our time, we are going to take all the questions in one breath. Then Prof will respond. Prof.
Thank you, Prof, for giving us a good mentor this afternoon. I know you for a while, but you might not know me. The Carter affairs. Sir, my name is Tela Adedeji, Professor Tela Adedeji. You started well by navigating through your job and how you eventually came into limelight. Sir, I could see that many of our colleagues sitting here are winning, and that's why they are here. Before 12 o'clock, they are sitting and they are still listening. I find out that what makes a difference in your journey is the skill you received. I find out that we lack this skill. Though you are too much occupied, I wouldn't know how you be of help in cascading this skill among us here. Though I've said that you are too occupied, but you have built the cycle that can be of help in that regard. It's just a request. Thank you.
The next person.
Thank you very much, and it's a privilege to listen to these depths of knowledge from you, sir. My name is Ayuade AK, and I want to say thank you so much once again. So I'll be speaking concerning Qatar. I put it for Qatar 2 years ago as an early career researcher, and unfortunately I didn't get it. So looking at the requirements, I saw that one has to be a full-time staff of the University of Ibadan. So for me then, I was a university scholar, and I wrote a letter thanks to my head of the department who wrote to actually certify that I actually work in the department, although not an academic staff. So I had somebody that goes Qatar and would always recommend that, oh, that is a good one. So I want to ask, as the requirement being reviewed, right now at the verge of completing my PhD, and so can I still reapply, or as the requirement being reviewed, or is this strictly academic staff? And so once one is not fully an academic staff, it can get cut. Thank you so much. Ayuade AK. Ayuade Adedeji Kayode. Thank you, sir.
There's somebody else.
I'm Professor J. Wadelola, head of department. Clarification. This one has come from me. If somebody is handing a grant and he got retired, does that terminate the grant? No. So because you mentioned that somebody was handing and then. Okay. That's the first step. The second one is a plea. Now you are sitting down, on grants. Now you are here. For the sake of our relationship, can you continue to involve lecturers from this faculty of education in one of your, or many of your grants? We have so many things. I am the head official. We have so many things, so many departments that are all
carefully.
Next question. You want to ask it?
Thank you, sir, for the invaluable knowledge you shared with us this afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Wako, and I have a question, sir. There are times when we submit proposals, and the proposals have been accepted, and you need to fill some forms, and one of the recurring issues is that you have to provide institutional codes. So I want to ask, is there a general institutional code, or how do we go about it? Because most times you have to fill those forms, it has to be filled at that point in time. And by the time we bypass that aspect and submit, they will still send mails that you have not provided your institutional code. So how do we navigate, or what is there a general code for the institution that we have to put in, even despite the fact that submissions have been accepted? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prof. I have a question and a request. The first question is that Abiodun Bamigwe, Human Kinetic. Prof, I would like to know if you can. I'd like to know if there's, from all those foundations that offer grants that you have mentioned, are there any specific time which they normally, advertise for the application? So that, or one can just be searching endlessly just to be sure when, or are there any specific time frame, where they normally put on their own application, so that if we have idea, so that one can begin to prepare for the period when such will be on. And the last one is your perceptions about, the reservation you have for NASU, especially concerning testing. I would like to have a personal engagement with you, at least to have a kind of one-on-one engagement over that. I have a different perception, contrary to what you expect.
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity, sir. We are very grateful. Sir, through your presentation, I'm Tolulope Badamosi. You made reference to Ghana, University of Ghana, that there means an opportunity to be part of Qatar institution. Sir, from my experience, we have, like me and some of my colleagues, that we have experienced such, whereby we are able to have institutional support for some opportunities. It seems as if University of Ibadan is already saturated, sir. For instance, you mentioned $40 million. Some people $1 million. But we have the incoming career researchers that they are having access to $1,000. And this is not really attractive to the university. Where they're supposed to give support, you see them not replying message mails from the sponsors. Please, what can we do? At times they ask you to go to the label units. When you are there, they will be looking for your files. Then when university is expected to sponsor, they will tell you that anything that involves money, university cannot sponsor. And when you sponsor yourself to some place, they will know that it's self-sponsored. And they will now say that as long as your university is not sponsoring for that network, for that conference, it means they are not ready to collaborate with them. And because of it, the opportunity they will take you to another place. For instance, There is one that USO was supposed to get in a network that I belong to. It was given to Pan Atlantic University at Lagos there because they got institutional support. Please help us, sir. And I give for university. I'm not suggesting that they need to encourage the incoming one. Even if the grant is not much, someone will need to start somewhere. You cannot start from millions of dollars. You need to build your CV. There is need for university to encourage us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Prof. My name is Ayo Ahmed of this faculty. My teacher said it is better to be the head of a rat than to be the tail of an elephant. You have been able to tell us that we are lagging behind and that we should be able to move forward. But you need somebody to guide, to direct, to give orientation, which is missing. Because the grant that I got, 3 grants that I got, were not directly from people from the faculty who gave me the what we call it, opportunity or leadership. They are from other faculties here. And so you cannot give what you don't have. Sir, we have a problem, and we are saying to you, sir, come to the where? Come to Macedonia to help. If my suggestion is this, sir, if there are programs that are designed for craftsmanship training that are developed into a webinar or maybe YouTube or whatever, members here will subscribe to it. Have you not? Have we not? We will subscribe to it to learn. Because once you learn a skill and develop yourself, look at some of the areas that you have listed. Advocacy, community improvement, scholarship on training. Okay? A lot of us over here have skills. But how do we package ourselves to be able to sell the skill? It's very, very important, because some time ago I was involved in advocacy on reduction of child labor in Nigeria through ILO. And we went around about 6 states to be able to do that. A lot of people over here can be involved in so many if they know how to be able to develop the skills, to be able to attract grants. So, sir, my plea to you is, sir, is there a way by which you can organize training for us, or you can cascade, just like brother said, get us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that can be involved. We will pay if there's little, I mean, we will pay for it, because we pay in other instances to be able to go and learn. And if people are able to get $1 million, $30,000, $20,000 over here, it's going to make a lot of difference in our life. Thank you very much, sir.
Professor.
Thank you very much. I'm glad so much interest has been generated in the gathering. So let me start taking them. I've already dealt with Professor Anyanwu's comments, Professor Tella, and cascading skills. Yes, I agree totally with you. That should be organized. And the university does organize grantsmanship workshops from time to time. Qatar has done that on a number of occasions with the university, and we are still going to do so in future. The reality is that grantsmanship workshops are very difficult to organize because they have to be hands-on. When we organize them, people must actually come with an idea that will be developed into a proposal during the workshop, so that by the time they are leaving the workshop, they have a working proposal. Professor Wakwe, I will welcome. I didn't know when you came.
I told you when I was coming that you should come and join me here.
So, yeah, but certainly we can organize something in that regard. The faculty will have to spearhead it.
Yes.
And then we will look for the resource persons. Then, I think it's Adedeji Ayoade asked about the Carter Fellowship. Yes, we reserve it exclusively for staff because it is an investment. And we want that investment to yield in the institution. I told you, we've trained 31 have graduated. At least we have 25 left. That's 80 something percent. One died, but the others bolted. But I tell you, if the 25, if they were not staff, they probably would not be here. So we cannot be investing in people that we don't have a reasonable, that don't have a reasonable probability of handling around. So that's the reasoning behind. I was actually the architect of that idea, that anybody receiving the fellowship must be somebody who is affiliated to the institution. Then we know that there is reason to believe that they are likely to stay around. I don't stop them. I told you those who have left have left, but at least it's more likely. So that policy remains. All the 4 people that got the fellowship in UI this year, they are all electrons. It's part of the terrain. Then Professor Delala asked what happens when you retire. Like I said, the grant is not to you personally. The grant is to the institution. So you have people working with you who are co-investigators on the grant. They will continue to operate it on behalf of the university. The money is a grant to the university. So the fact that you retire does not mean that work stops. Work will continue. And that's why you have co-investigators to work with you. It doesn't mean that even if you retire, you cannot continue to work on grants. One of the biggest grantees in the College of Medicine, he retired, I think he retired 4 years ago. He's still receiving grants, but he's now an emeritus professor. So he's still affiliated to the institution. So you could even transit and become an emeritus professor and still be giving grants. That's the way it works. And as for involving people from the faculty in our transdisciplinary class, that's what we do. My main research partner in this university is from the Faculty of the Social Sciences, not from the College of Medicine. And we have people from technology working with us, people from Agri. One of the projects we did at IDICON, one of our close collaborators is a professor of agricultural economics. But some of the methods he was using were very relevant to what we were doing. And so we invited him and he joined us. So we do transdisciplinary work all the time. In fact, you are unlikely to get money if you are not doing transdisciplinary work. Because you are not likely to solve important problems of the society unless you are working across disciplines. So we get people from everywhere. So if we have something that we need somebody with skills in the Faculty of Education, certainly, why not? In actual fact, I think Professor Asuzu is in this faculty. Yeah, she's involved in this grant that I told you about. She's a member of our executive steering committee for this large grant that we are currently operating. So we work across faculties. That's part of the terrain. Then somebody was asking, Emmanuel Lumwako, asking about institutional code. My advice is, please, when you are putting up a proposal, go and see the director of the research management office. Any code, any information you need about the university, they have it in the research management office. So carry them along. In fact, for many grants, you cannot submit yourself. It is the research management office that will submit on your behalf. So if you are having such issues, please go and visit them in the research management office and they will guide you on how to deal with it. When the call for applications come, they come throughout the year. You need to go and look for the people funding the work, the kind of work you are doing. And then find out, the announcements keep coming right through the year. In fact, if you are on some mailing list, you will get, I don't have time to be writing grants over and over, because if you get grant and you don't implement it, you're in trouble. So right now, I can't even afford to write any grants, because I need to make sure that the ones we are implementing, that we will write our reports on time, even to get the money. Look, they will say, okay, we have awarded you so much. But when they are going to start releasing the money, you say, there's another longer period. It's like writing another proposal. Before they release maybe 5% of the money. Then, after some time, you're asking for another 5%, another. So don't think that running grants is easy. It's hard work. That's why I say, if you are running grants, you don't have time for strike. Because it's a distraction. You need to really focus so that you can be sure that the next grant will come when it is time for you to apply for it. Then, institutional support, particularly when the grants are small. I understand the place where you are coming from, but please get to the research management. Professor Jagede is the current director. He's very good. And they don't look down on small grants at all. Let me tell you why. The university, yes, it's nice to have large grants. Good. And the university gets more money from the grants, because the university will take between 10 and 15% of whatever money comes in. And part of it comes to your faculty, by the way. So it's another way to build up your faculty. No, the money will be for your faculty. It will be passed to the dean to spend on the faculty. No, if you don't write grant, nothing will come. My department, I can show you the things they've done with the percentage that came to the department from my grant. And I'm not the only one. There are, at least in my department, there were about 8 people who are PIs in my department alone. And these are not small grants at all. I mean, one of them just bought a brand new Jeep from his grant. So these are not small grants at all. So part of that money comes to my department. So it's win-win for everybody. It comes to the faculty, it comes to the department. So everybody is happy. And of course, because it comes to the faculty, you can't go to the dean or go to your head of department and say, okay, I have a meeting in Stellenbosch tomorrow, and say you should not go. That money will not come again. So anywhere I want to go now, as soon as I drop my paper, my head of department just sign very quickly. because it is part of the terrain. So that's so please reach out to the RMO. They will help. No matter how small the grant is, we want the numbers. If they say the university received 50 grants, they won't start saying which one is 20,000, which one is 20 million. No. They will just say, there are so many grants have come to the university, and it's important. That metric is just as important as the amounts that are involved. So please don't get discouraged. And if you have any problem, please give me a call. If you have a grant that is giving problems, please give me a call. I can even call the Vice Chancellor, because it's very, very supportive. He wants as many people as possible to get grants. It's very good for the university. So even if it's a $1,000 grant, we want it. It will be part of what is written down. That one came to the university. So I think that's about it, Professor Ahmed. I think I've answered your questions. Thank you very much.
Please, that applause is not sufficient. Let's give a very round applause. Okay. We have engaged our erudite professor for more than close to 2 hours. Please, another round of applause for me. You see, as it is being said proverbially, my people will say that a domestic animal barely regard or respect a hunter. But a game in the bush knows the worth of a hunter. The number of doors we will have knocked, no, the number of letters we will have written, were it not that Prof is one of our own and among us. Please, let's give a round of applause to him. We appreciate you, Prof. We thank you very, very much. And I know the faculty will get back to you. We thank you for the promise to assist us, especially the upcoming one in this craftsmanship. We will come closer. You pick your nose with the right finger. So we have another super grant winner, another erudite scholar. They are both travelers. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Professor Uwakwe. Sir, you will be the one to kindly appreciate Professor Omikodu on behalf of the faculty. Please put us together, please.
Thank you very much, my beloved brother. We are going lost. His wife is Australian extraction like my darling wife. So when actually they meet, they will switch to Creole and both of us will be lost. So my prof, on their behalf, I would like to thank you most sincerely. First of all, let me apologize. My thought Professor May called to whom we come, but I think I got entangled with a teleconference. I thought it would last a few minutes, but then it took the better part of an hour. So I sincerely apologize for coming. I apologize again to all of you. Let me tell you a joke. The first grant I got in please don't scream, promise me you won't scream. 1988 was the miserable 4,000 pounds. Well, they are telling me to remove the miserable. Okay, it was a generous 4,000 pounds. Now, so, what I'll tell you, I'm sure my brother would have also said so.
So no wonder,
yes.
No wonder we had those 2 bullets.
Right. So, I'm sure I would have said this in another, but what I would keep it here is, there's what we call, we call it this pink slip syndrome. The pink slip syndrome is when you get a response about the application the grant you made, and it's not favorable. And it becomes a syndrome because a lot of people, he can tell you, go into depression for weeks on end because of that pink slip. And before they know it, the grass will grow under their feet. The only thing I'll tell you today, don't allow the pink slip syndrome to catch you. One particular year, I've shared with my friend Dave, I wrote over 200 applications and I got like 198 obituaries. And when I do my colloquium, I share that with them, they will laugh their heads off and say, yeah. So don't be discouraged at all. You have to keep trying. I'm going to have a few colloquiums. I'm retiring next year, so but I'll try and have a few more before I leave. But the important thing is just keep trying. He knows what they tell us is that the colleagues out there, they tell there's chance, and there's a pot of money out there. He's laughing, but that's all. It's a pot of money. Funds are available, but the grants will never fall on your laps. Never. Your grants are highly competitive. Very highly competitive. Therefore, you have to build your own capacity to be able to compete with the rest. It's simple. So I encourage all of us, and it's doable. And I tell you, it's not a super egg like it. For people like us, if I can get grants, it's just about anybody and everybody else can get grants. It's about effort, it's about struggle, it's about resilience. So, on your behalf, I thank my brother most sincerely for the very busy gentleman. But for him to spare this time to come to a faculty, I'm sure he has inspired a lot of us in this whole process. So, thank you very much indeed. We appreciate it.
Please put your hands together for Professor. Thank you so much. Professor Wadri, we are grateful to you. Sir, please don't go yet. The professors will take pictures with our guests. And thereafter, because we can then release our guests, then thereafter snacks will be served. And we have a short presentation by an entrepreneur. He's saying a great value hub an investment project in agribusiness. So it's just to expose us to more opportunities to make money and to make our lives better. Professor Delola, okay. Dean, sir.
At Lucom Integrated Service Limited, we are an agribusiness company. We focus majorly on how people can actually create wealth in agribusiness. So our work cut across aquaculture, production, storage, and market linkage. So, so far so good. We've been in partnership with the Oyo State government under the Department of Fisheries, where we actually work with the fish farmers across the state in Oyo State. And what we do majorly with them is that we aggregate their products, as the fish products, catfish to be specific, and then we add value to their product, we create market for them, for their production to be, to be more productive. And we have also created market for them across locations in Nigeria and also outside the country. So we have a project currently running, which is called the Isenyi Agri Value Hub. Isenyi Agri Value Hub is a project that is designed by Lucom Integrated Service Limited. So what we are doing around this is that we are creating a platform for people who actually are looking for a major profitable investment program, especially in agriculture. So we are creating this service environment for them to actually, go into production, either production, processing, or storage, or any other value chain in the agriculture. So the Isenyi Agri Value Hub, as the name implies, is an agricultural hub. An agricultural hub where we have all the value chains in the agriculture in a service environment. That is why we call it an hub. When I talk about the value chain, I'm talking about either you want to go into production, maybe open field production or greenhouse production, and also you are not stopping in the area of the production alone, but you also want to add value to your product. That is value addition. Also, if you are looking at storage, because this is one of the challenges in the agricultural sector, the food sector in Nigeria, in which about 40 to 50% of our farm produce go into post-harvest losses. And this hub is ready to actually reduce this gap. And also, if you are not looking at the storage, you want to look at the logistics and warehousing, the hub is also an opportunity for you to actually key into, because we have a lot of farmers, that will be inside that hub, and what you can do is just to create your own idea for them to actually store their produce. And also, if you are not looking at the storage warehousing, you can be looking at maybe having a demonstration farm, like the prof mentioned about grants. We're actually talking to other institutions like NIOT, like IIT, to have a research center in that hub, or a lot of things that can happen there. So, in our layout in the agri value hub, like I've mentioned, we have a lot of things that we are putting in place that can be as an advantage to whosoever that is coming into that hub. One of them is the adequate hub security. Essentially, agri value hub, we have a partnership with security personnel in Oyo State. We have a partnership with the Amotekun Security Network and also the NSCDC Agri Rangers to ensure that we have adequate security in that hub. It means that we are protecting the investment and the product and the work that is being carried out in that hub. Secondly is the issue of the water supply. In Nigeria today, a lot of people that go into production usually depends on a particular season, which is the rainy season. That is the only time that they think they can go into production or farming. But we have looked at it critically to see how we can actually remedy, find the solution to this challenge. That is why we are putting in place an infrastructural development in terms of all year-round water supply. That means for anyone that is going into the production, will not have a challenge of water supply. They all will have all year-round water supply, and for people that are going to production of greenhouse production, then the irrigation system currently has been installed in that hub, and they can also benefit from that. Another thing in the infrastructure development we're also looking at is the issue of power supply. For instance, anyone that wants to go into cold storage definitely would need access to power supply, and our hub is also ready, and we are doing it already. That the hub, we have a power supply. Then, because this essential agricultural hub is situated on a 500 acres of land, that means that it's very important for us to also work on the road network, which we are currently doing. That means anyone that is keen into this project, we have access, to their farm or to whatever they are doing in that hub. So these are the 4 key major infrastructure developments we are putting in place in that hub. Now, what it means is that anyone that is coming into this project has everything it takes for them to succeed. Now, what are the investment areas that we can actually look at in this Isenyi Agri-Value? Number 1 is the crop production. Crop production, either you want to go into vegetable production like tomato, capsicum, that is the pepper production, or any other vegetable farming. That place is suitable for your agriculture. Then, anyone that also wants to go into greenhouse production because of the solar powered irrigation that we have put in place in that hub, is also a good investment location or environment for that project. Now, secondly, in terms of the investment that can happen in that hub is livestock production. Anyone that is looking at investing in livestock like cattle rearing, sheep or goats rearing, poultry farms, these are things that can happen successfully in our hub. And thirdly, the cold storage is cold storage because we are trying to integrate all these value chains together in such a way that it will be interconnected. So one person is producing, another person is processing it, and then someone else is also taking care of the storage. And also, fourthly, another thing to look at in the investment available is the issue of warehousing and storage, especially in terms of grains and cereals. There are peaks of the year that the cereals that we have, especially, let's say, maize, beans, rice, many of them, they go into waste because there is no adequate storage system for them. This all is a solution to that. So we can actually consider siting a warehouse or a silo also in that hub. And again, anyone that also is looking at logistics, agro-logistics, the hub is also a very good location because we are creating a pathway, an access road in that hub. And what is significant about the location of this hub is that the hub is actually located in an area that is central to the food production in Oyo State. When we talk about the Oke-Ogun axis, talking about Iseyin, Shaki, Ogbomoso, Ibarapa, and all that, Iseyin is actually central to this location. That means that there is proximity to major markets around that side. As we all know that Oke-Ogun is a food basket location in Oyo State. So it's a centralized point for an agricultural project to actually be successful. Now, the place is very close to the Fashola Agribusiness Industrial Hub, and what we are trying to also replicate is the mini Fashola Industrial Hub as well.
Sorry, sir. Please don't go ahead. There's an information for you, please. For God's sake. Go ahead, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. So also, the location is close to the rail station. This means that there are major markets that are not even in the Oke-Ogun axis, but through the rail station, we can actually move the produce to other locations like Lagos, the major markets in Lagos, and others. And also, we also have other landmarks like the Federal University of Agriculture and Technology close to this location as well. Now, what are the market potential for people that for potential investors, people that are actually looking for a way to invest in this hub? Now, there are market potentials. For example, the Nigerian agricultural sector today, there's a problem of food insecurity, and that's what the actual place that we're actually looking at in closing the gap. And when you ask an average Nigerian that, why are we not going into production, especially in farming, the number one issue that they are going to mention is the issue of security challenges, which our company, we are providing a lasting solution to that by going into partnership with all the security personnel, the Amotekun and the NSCDC agro rangers. Another thing is that currently in Nigeria, there is a rising demand for high-value products, agricultural products, either in the horticulture sector, that's the vegetables, or in the livestock. And also, this also gives access to the market that we created internally and also internationally. So what it means is that if you subscribe to this agribusiness program, it gives you your mind is, you are rest assured that there is already a market waiting for you for your product. We want to assure you that whatever thing that you produce in the either crop or livestock, there is a market for them. So what we are now asking us to do is to take action and to benefit from this investment that is happening at Iseyin Agri-Value. Currently, we offer this service space and all this infrastructure that was put in place in the hub. Now, how do I become a subscriber, or how do I plug myself into this investment program? Now, the hub, which is this service land, we have divided it into 2 square meter. We have the one of 1,000 square meter, and we have the one of 5,000 square meter. Each square meter, all the square meter I mentioned, 5,000 square meter or 1,000 square meter, they have all these infrastructures on them. So you don't need to bother about security, you don't need to worry yourself about the power and also water. What you just have to do is to acquire the space, and currently we are on a launch offer for our 1,000 square meter, which goes for 3 million naira. 1,000 square meter goes for 3 million naira.
Just a moment. Please, can we have a one house? Please, I believe at this point we should listen to what he's telling us. You never know, we may wish to invest. and make the best out of it. Please, let's have one house.
So the 5,000 square meter also in that environment, the hub also goes for 12 billion naira pre-launch offer. The square meter, people, we have investor already and work has commenced. The place actually located at kilometer 5, Iseyin Ibadan Road, is about 45 minutes drive from Monia. So it's right beside the road, and going from Monia to Iseyin is right by the right hand side. You see billboard there, and what we are currently doing the perimeter fencing. We install the water there and the security personnel as well. And we are currently working on the office post of the Amotekun. So if you maybe you are traveling and you are taking that axis or that route, you can as well check and see what we are doing there. So on this note, I would like to drop the mic and expect that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's do that together for him. Don't go. Hold your mic because we will have to be answering questions. Dr. Adegori, I can cite you. Okay, let's have you first.
My question is this. When you were giving your presentation, you mentioned security. As a small-scale farmer in my own house, I secured my farm from people that can actually come into my compound and intrude into my farm. But now you are talking about large scale, and you said you mentioned the issue of security, which is important. You now said you have contacted Amotekun and police and civil defense. These are people that we already have as security architects, and yet we still don't have that same security. When you now said you have cleared that area, and you now still refer to them, that is my question. How are we sure that our life and the property there eventually get one? Is we sleep with our two eyes closed. Please don't mention Amotekun.
All right, I thank you for your question. You ended the question by saying I should not mention Amotekun, but there's no way I'm going to speak that I will not mention Amotekun. They have done it for us at Ado Hawaii. We have a farm and cassava investment currently that is still running at Ado Hawaii, and these are the guys that we have employed there. And so far, we have not recorded any insecurity or any theft in that place. You can go and verify something. And otherwise, you can ask for people with various service limited. Currently, we have people that subscribe to the land. So we are rest assured. I don't know how others do their own, but currently our office is even at the Amotekun headquarters. So we have a very strong partnership with them. They recommend their best personnel for us. For us to ensure that they stay on the farm, we are getting a building for them on the farm so that they will be there 24/7. So I want to assure you, sir, that about the security challenges, there's no problem. One thing I didn't mention during my presentation is that we work also with Nigeria Agricultural Insurance Corporation, that is AIC. We are working with them in the agricultural sector. We are also bringing them into this project to ensure that all the investments are also insured. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Fami Lola. My own question is this. Assuming I'm interested, how do I get it?
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, you obtain our form. You obtain our form, we give you advisory service.
How much is the form?
The form is free. Okay. The form is free. We give you an advisory service. We ask questions. What are the things that you are looking at? Because in that hub, we are not taking in everything about agri. For example, people that want to go into cash crop, oil palm, we are not taking anything. So we want to ask you what your plan about what you want to do with that, because it's actually an agri hub and the state government has actually also approved the place. So we are not so looking out for people that will buy the place and will just leave it fallow there, or that they want to turn into a residential lot. So when that is cleared, you now pick the square meter of your choice, either the 1,000 square meter or the 5,000 square meter. Then we agree on the payment terms. We take installment payment for the 1,000 square meter, which is 3 million naira. Installment for 3 months, where you have to deposit 50%, then you spread the rest within 3 months. Then if it is also the 5,000 square meter, our installment runs for 6 months. And if you are getting more units, the payment can also run for a year. So when you make your payment, you are going to be provided with documents. The land has a CFO, which are going to get in your name, and also the record survey as well, which will be given to you. The agreement will be given to you. This is the layout of the hall. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Any last question? Okay. Last question.
Products.
Says, please.
Do you help in sales of the product?
Yes. Okay. Sales of the product. Yes. I mentioned that we have one of the services that we render is market linkage. So we have created market. You just have to know the product that are going to. Then we'll create market for you.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope your phones are in. Okay, they are writing their names, those who are interested. Please kindly include your phone number in what you are writing, so that they can make up with you. My dear sir, final word.
Thank you, sir. Well, distinguished colleagues, I want to say thank you very much. It's been a very, very serious day. We've been sitting here for almost 3.5 hours. But we have the last thing. Professor Mukwedu has been here. He has spoken with us and he has gone. And the question is, what is the takeaway? And that's why I just says, please just give me a few minutes. The takeaway is that he wants us to have a massive, huge application in the next TEDFund research call. And what he told me is that we should form a multidisciplinary team of about 30. I asked him, can we make it department by department so that all departments will be involved? He said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Allow individuals here present. Please, as we are leaving this place, across the department, form a team, research team of about 6 or 7. Some of us are here who benefited from the last 2 years, and you understand what I'm saying. Form a team of about 6 to 7 across the department. Have a concept. Develop your concept notes. And then once we have that, once we have about 25 to 30 concept notes, the faculty will sit and then we'll screen. From 30, we'll screen to about 20, between 20 and 25. And then once we screen 20 to 25, now we will now invite you to come and sit with the team members of that team that we have screened. And then he will assist us, and his team will now assist us to do a critical rethinking to those concepts you need. And then finally, whether it is TEDFund or it is any of these institutions he has shown us. Now we now begin to apply. And then I pray that at the end of the day, those teams, 2025 that will be going through the training will surely make it. So that very early, we begin to win something. When you get the money is not coming to you. In my department, there are about 2 teams that won the last time. Even without my input, they didn't give me anything. The only percent of people that came to me was Oga, Martin, it was too bad, they gave me something for months, so empty. Okay. So we have the team, and then he will come, look at the concept, he will assist us and his team to critically do something better, correct the concept, and then we have something better, and then we're ready, whether it is telephone or we're going now. But he promised to send me this. He said he's going to send me something much, much better than what he presented, and then I will share it with all of us on education platform. If you are not on education platform, that's education forum, please indicate. Because somebody came to my office and was saying, no, I didn't see you. Hey, I'm not there. She's looking at me, I'm looking at her. Everybody must be on education platform. So once we have that, and then we're good. And I can promise you by June, we'll have the 3rd lunch time with the mentor. Because already I have agreed with him, and he has promised to come. But this time around, it's going to be somebody from within. We call him Cook Kolawale. Yeah. He's the Vice Chancellor, current Vice Chancellor, Trinity University, and the former Dean of our faculty. So he will be coming in, and then we'll be talking more about rules and regulations, and then we have more people to come along. I just want to say thank you, God bless you, for this time and energy that you have wasted so far. And I believe it's not a waste. So God bless you as we leave.
Thank you very much. Hoping to see you in June by the grace of God.